Hi guys! So today I'm finally getting around to making this video of my absolute favorite pancakes, which I guess you technically call that crepes here. But to me, these are pancakes. Growing up in Denmark, this is how we do them. And they're so super simple, and you've probably seen me eat these in my vlogs all the time. Whenever I have a kitchen I can make them, I do it. So why don't we just get straight to it. It's super simple. The first ingredient you're going to use is arrowroot. I talk about this so often. This is really the key to get that gooey consistency, and cardamom is my secret ingredient, along with some cinnamon that I love in absolutely everything, a tiny bit of salt, and vanilla powder, which is optional, but I highly recommend it. For the bananas, you're gonna make sure that they're really ripe and spotted, and the darker they are, the sweeter the pancakes are gonna be. So don't try and make them if they're not ripe, because it will not turn out the same way. For every banana that you use, you wanna use 2 eggs, and this is basically enough for 1 person. So just add up depending on how hungry you are, and add all the spices, as much cinnamon as you care for. Be careful with the cardamom, because not everyone likes it, and just half a teaspoon would be enough. Sea salt, just a tiny bit, and vanilla, I sometimes add a little more than what I probably need, but I love it, I can't get enough. And my trick is to blend it all and then add the arrowroot. This way you kind of avoid all the flour sticking to the sides, but you could just add it all at once and blend it up, but this is how I like to do it. And that's basically it. Move over to the hot pan. Today I'm cooking my pancakes in duck fat just because that's what JP had in the house, and I kind of like the taste of it. And I've been told that this step is actually a lot harder than it looks, but you just want to make sure that you start out with a hot pan and add just enough to cover the entire pan, and then you want to wait for the bubbles to appear. And that's when you know that it's time to flip it. And you can also see that they start to get dark right around the edges, and this is another sign that they're ready. You kind of have to tilt the pan. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I think you'll get a hang of it. And if you don't have enough arrowroot in there, they could be slightly harder to flip. So also be careful not to add too much arrowroot, or they will just be hard. But I'm sure you'll get the hang of it once you try it a few times. And I add this berry jam once I'm done that I make myself with no sugar, no nasty preservatives, no nothing. And the coconut ice cream that I've also talked about in my blog, I don't like it by itself, but in these pancakes, they are, I mean, it's the best. Then I finish it with my latest obsession, brown rice syrup. And if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it, but watch out, you might just get addicted. But that's basically it. I eat these pancakes all the time. Whenever I have a kitchen, whenever I can, I cannot stop. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. Let me know what you think. And as a little side bonus, I figured I'd show you how I make my berry jam, because I can't eat these without it. And plus, it's so simple that how could I not? So to make another 3-ingredient recipe, all you'll need is 2 types of berries. I usually go for strawberries and raspberries, but they didn't have organic strawberries, so I went for blackberries. You want to make sure that they're completely defrosted. That makes sure they have a nice and juicy consistency. Pour them in the blender and just finely blend them. I like chunks, so I don't overdo it. Then you want to grab your arrowroot once again, and you just want to take 1 teaspoon and add it in a small glass with a little bit of water. And this is basically just to thicken up the consistency. Then you want to grab a pot, turn on your stove, and basically just pour in the berry mixture and just lightly heat it up. You don't need to bring it to a boil, but just a low simmer. And once it simmers, you want to add the arrowroot and just keep stirring so you don't get any chunks. It will turn slightly white once you add it, but just boil it long enough for the white color to disappear. It will go back to normal. Pour it in the jar and let it cool off, and then you're good to go. So that was 2 simple and healthy 3-ingredient recipes for you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Like it, share it. Pancakes doesn't have to be a guilty treat that you only enjoy once in a while. Like I said, I eat these every day. So make sure you share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you next time.